And what is your take on the fact that we hear that securities are the ones that are tokenized in Europe? In the US, it's pretty much nothing that can be tokenized or that is tokenized. And in Asia, it's pretty much everything. Is it something that you're viewing on a daily basis?
Yes, I think it's true because in Europe, we have a clear understanding now about this new instrument. And basically, if you tokenize securities, they are still securities. So that's quite clear for all players. In Asia, there's still a bit there's differences between RWA, STO. Is it a new thing? Is it the same thing? And securities laws are most of the time a bit less advanced than what we have in Europe. So it's a bit more the Wild West, let's say. And in the US, it's quite difficult because the large players don't know if they can use public blockchains or not. Mostly because they are not really authorized to hold crypto to pay their gas fees or that kind of things. So there are a lot of doubt still in the US to use these public blockchains. So it's true that more and more we have clients in Europe, but historically we made some tokenization projects all around the world. So it's not such an issue when you have the right technology, because you have securities laws and we can enforce all of these laws as regulations on chain. So none of our clients got any issue with that.
And Nick, yes, sorry.
I do want to jump in with some just quick comments there that I think there is some misconception around what's going on in the US right now. So just some data points that I think are helpful. I'm sure most people are familiar with Franklin Templeton, right? They are one of the largest institutions in the world. They happen to be one of the largest issuers of tokenized securities on permissionless blockchains. From my understanding, they currently are issuing on Polygon. They currently have one of the largest TVLs of any issuers, period, on chain. I think it's in the 300 million sort of range. And so, just contrary to what I'm hearing, more broadly, sometimes online, sometimes, in private discussions, but there is quite a bit of activity in the US, right? Despite there not being a new regulatory framework to enable the actual tokenization of the specific securities, there are existing frameworks that can be utilized, which is what I was talking about earlier, specifically the Private Fund Act, which is sort of a subsect of the Investment Act that enables, private funds. There's different exemptions that allow this, but I just do want to point out there are large, very well-known institutions that are already live in the space with size. Pretty much every single other institution, from Citibank to JP Morgan to Bank of America, really across the board, are all looking at this very actively and very close to launching products. A lot of them do have products that are intrabank that are live today. There's quite a bit of volume actually going on the intrabank activity as well, but that is going to scale even more to permissionless blockchains. So I just do want to clarify that there are mechanisms to enable not just US users, but US institutions to tokenize these assets. And there are large players that are already live, such as Franklin Templeton, that are doing this today.
Thanks for giving us your insight on the US way of doing things.